Welcome to, or welcome back to the
Yeah,
Rated Gen Z podcast.
part
Sean,
two.
this is your second time.
I know.
The first time was a year ago. I think
2024? No,
it was,
2025.
yeah, but I want to say it was,
Um,
I think, an actual like year
yeah,
ago.
because
Eh,
well, when did I open your account? It was 2024, wasn't it?
No, no, no. It was last year. It was right before I started filming. I started filming in July, and I think I opened it maybe several months before. So I think it might be like an actual year.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you were in my film, I Hear You Gen
Yeah,
Z. And we wanted to I feel like I'm multiple people here. I wanted to
yeah,
have you back on
sure. Yeah,
because you had reached out and you had mentioned just a lot of changes in your life and how you're evolving as a person, which I
definitely.
thought was perfect because when people watch the film, they'll get a chance to hear what you were experiencing at the time when it came to like social media and the online culture that there's
Yeah.
out there with
Mm-hmm.
this alpha
Yep.
male culture and kind of masculine toxicity, which I feel
Yeah.
like it really has gotten a lot of virility. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Like it just keeps
It's become a cult, to say the least.
is that okay?
Cult,
Yeah.
because I won't lie to you. When you first met me and when we first did that first interview, I was kind of not BSing you, but kind of hiding how I really thought, because I knew if I started speaking the way I spoke,
Yeah.
like, and you probably caught the hints, right? When I was started saying stuff like, well, I wouldn't want her posting stuff like that, or,
Yeah.
those, though, that maybe that hinted that.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, I was in a dark place then, to be honest. I was mentally, emotionally, I was in a dark place. Like, I had a real misogyny, hatred towards women. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I was in a
Yeah.
place where I saw women as like a second class citizen. Like, I really believed and worshipped
Mhm.
all those podcasts, right? The the Myron dudes, the Fresh and Fits, the Andrew Tates, the what I don't even Sneeko
I don't
and
know any of these. I
yeah.
only know one
No,
person.
no. Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
I do not buy into any of
Sure.
that.
And
So,
no, but that's the problem. I bought into it so much because the year before I went through a really bad, like, toxic relationship, and I feel like I lost myself when I went through all that. I mean,
mm.
if you read the book, which I don't know if you did or
I
not, but
started, I
yeah.
started. I have to, be honest. I've been so busy,
Yeah,
but
and
I do plan on reading them for sure.
yeah, no, no, take your time. I mean, it just and basically it's through a first person perspective, but I know that there's a lot of young dudes out there, a lot of the young bros out there that are going through or the same thing I went through. Like, I think one of the main reasons I wanted to move to San Diego wasn't because I actually wanted to. It was because I knew my followers and I knew my social media would like to be in San. I'm being honest, and
Wow.
and I
Okay.
know, and I realized that I don't really like the finance business world. I just did it to look good, like be that guy in the suit,
Interesting.
being in finance. Like, my motivation wasn't because I wanted to do it. My motivation was because it looks cool as a man, and that's what the red pill dudes say.
Yeah.
And I want to go into this cutthroat industry, and you know, where backstabbing and talking behind each other's backs and trying to get one up on other people is a real thing, not just a woman and man thing. But in that world, it's like really cutthroat,
Yeah.
and you kind of have to backstab people to get to the top. And I honestly was not happy that in that environment. It felt bad, like treating people like they were numbers, especially like the clients. Like, I'm not saying I treated you like a number or anything. I actually,
You
yeah,
better
yeah,
not have.
I know, right? But like
Well,
the
I wouldn't have asked you to be on
yeah,
my podcast or in my film if that's what I
exactly,
felt. If
yeah,
anything, I almost had the sense of I don't want to say like cry for help because I didn't really
hmm,
sense that extreme of it, but there was
yeah,
something there clearly that I knew was that I needed to tap into. So that's
yeah,
why I asked you to be in the film because I knew there was a you were going to be honest. Never did I
yeah.
anticipate that you were going to actually like go through this transformation in the
Oh my
last year.
God,
So
like,
I think that's what's really cool about all of this is that you like are such a different person. So it'll be really neat to see when you hear yourself and you see yourself
Yeah,
on the
like
screen and what you have to say in
honestly,
the
yeah, because
film.
I can think like that's not really how I thought and when I was saying those things. Like to be honest, and it's sad that I think that I thought this way then, but I saw it as an opportunity to get famous, to be on your podcast. Like I didn't really how do I say
And
this?
not to burst your bubble, but
Yeah.
like my podcast is really not
Right,
that.
right, of course. But I mean, I was so manipulated by this red pill culture that I was
Yeah,
like, hell yeah, I can be on a podcast myself. And but the thing is, like, I watched the interview with my old self, and I'm like, dude, that's not how you really thought then, though. You were hiding a lot of things.
really interesting.
Like,
Because I still felt like you were pretty vulnerable, though. Like you were saying things
yeah,
about like it's important to talk about your mental health and it's important to open up and it's not
yeah,
necessarily a weakness. So,
exactly.
I mean, I feel like that was genuine, no?
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, if you look at the book cover of The Mind of the Red Pill Man,
Mm-hmm.
in the center there's a picture of a little nerdy kid, but then like surrounded is like that red pill culture life.
Yeah.
That's because it's like part of me, my real self was always underneath that. Like I was just putting up a front and a cover, but I really wasn't happy with that front and cover. So I think when we started talking, I started the real me started coming out, but then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, no, 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 I have to hide that. You know what I mean? I don't know if
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying.
No, no, I get it, but I will say again, like
Yeah,
when you see the film, like there really was an honesty there where I feel like it's like you really wanted to kind of be able
yeah,
to open up
yeah.
and the fact that I was really proud of you because maybe even if you're saying that you weren't completely yourself or completely honest in the
Yeah,
moment, there was still a side of you that not many men would admit to. So the fact that
yeah.
like you were already admitting to things, I was like, this is gold because I know that there are a ton of young men out
There
there
are tons.
that are
Like
buying into it.
it's
And so I want to know because, a lot of adults and just kind of the older generations are wondering like, what is it about the culture that you suddenly are like buying into? Like, is
yeah,
it something and how do I say this? Because, I don't want to get all,
yeah, of
but
course.
just even when it comes to, women, young women, and how they can be very much manipulated and so forth, a
Yeah.
lot of it comes from their self-worth. A lot of it
Hmm.
comes from that they don't feel like they deserve love. So
Yeah,
then what
absolutely.
happens is they're more susceptible
Yeah,
to also being manipulated in a way because
exactly.
they don't have that self-worth. So
Yeah.
for men, I want to know what do you think it's about men that it's allowing them to also be manipulated in this way? Is it the same
Insecurity.
thing? What's the
Insecurity.
insecurity?
The truth is men are really scared deep down, and I was one of those guys, and I saw this cult, this indoctrination as a great cover because I think the main thing about red pill is they say that vulnerable men, that makes you a pussy. That's weakness, right? And when you're on your phone and the algorithms are not helping either,
No.
you constantly see stuff to remind what it is that you're thinking. It's like it can read your mind, which is actually kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're constantly seeing the same shit every single day, you kind of start to believe it instead of going outside and, talking to people. And what the whole time I was in San Diego, it didn't go exactly the way I envisioned, right? I thought I was going to go out there and I thought I was going to be super popular and I thought I was going to be like this guy that all the women wanted and wanted to hook up with and stuff. And I mean, I had my relationships and I had, my casual encounters and stuff like that, but it was like I was chasing something that I could never get.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was looking to be the top dog. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I was living, it was a good lifestyle. I mean, some parts of it, being around beautiful women and, being around famous people and interacting with a lot of high net worth clients and doing all that. It was great, but I don't know, something inside me, I didn't feel fulfilled. Like
Yeah.
I felt like I still didn't have a purpose. You know what I mean? And I feel like I was hiding my true self. Like there were times when I was with girls and I wanted to talk about like weird history facts and I wanted to talk about like just cool topics and just talk and talk, but I think it's because I was so afraid of being rejected and being looked at as you're weird. Like this, you're weird, bro. Like, so I just tried to be like every other alpha dude. Like, I wanted to be like every other alpha dude in a suit or
Ugh.
athlete. I wanted
And
to,
you know, it's crazy that to me is so unattractive. Like, as a 50-year-old
yeah.
woman, like, I want to talk about history. I want to talk
Hmm.
about science. Like, I want to get nerdy. Like, that to me, like,
Yeah, that, but
stimulate my brain, and I will be like,
yeah,
I'll be like,
that's the
I'm all
real
yours.
me. No, no, the thing is, that's the real me. Like,
But
I could,
that's my point is that
yeah,
that's
but
usually what attracts, like, women is
I
not
know that
the,
now, but then I was just like, no, I got to make all this money. I got to drive this nice car. I got to live in a nice penthouse apartment downtown. I got to post myself with women at the club. All that
yeah,
stuff, right? I got to wear these earrings. I got to wear like I have to live that life,
yeah.
I have to be like the other dudes that I see in the podcast and stuff like that. And the problem is I was so emotionally detached every time I would interact with a girl. Like it was like they were an object to me, which is it
Mm.
sounds bad, I know. But like
I mean, you're being
I mean,
real. You're being honest about it.
no,
And
I
it's
am. I
like
mean,
someone's got to talk about it, you
I
know?
I would I would dehumanize them in my mind, and I talk about that in the book in the mind of the red pill man in depth because you know I had a black heart for a while, and there's I'll just say it there was a phase in life where I had experience with escorts, and
Mm,
that's the only interaction I had for period of a few months. Like I didn't even want to interact with real like
yeah.
women. Like I started viewing relationships as just transactional, like business only, like because I was in the business world, finance world, and I started to treat the same logic to relationships. Like it's a transaction, there's something in it for everybody. And that I think that messed my mind up completely. I think it took me down a dark path, and I became isolated, more isolated. And the sad part is when you isolate yourself, not just from people, but also from your family, right? I mean, this is sad. And then I don't know if you read the full book yet, but well, the Modern Disconnect, but
Not the full one.
this last Christmas, I spent it in my apartment downtown with some girl I met that night. And instead of coming home here, for Christmas, which, was my grandmother's last Christmas because she ended up passing away a week later. And instead of calling her and going to see her, I was so consumed with that lifestyle and, being downtown and being
Hmm.
around all the party and glamour that I forgot, family comes first. I mean, I should have been here. I should have been with my grandma because, it was she was she passed away a week later, and you can imagine when she did, that destroyed me. And I think it kind of woke me up a little bit.
Oh.
And so these past 6 months, I've just kind of been in my thoughts and been alone, not by choice. It's because I'm trying to take care of my dad. And,
Hmm.
he struggles with severe mental illness. And especially since she passed away, it's just like downhill. So I'm having to be the caregiver now. And I'm not a caregiver. I mean, I'm not nurturing like she was, like, especially when I have to rub his feet and rub his back, and he likes his Australian Dream Cream, and I have to help him to the bathroom. I have to help him to the shower.
Wow.
I got to pay all the bills. I mean, he's completely dependent on me, and it's. But the thing is, in the way I'm glad I'm going through this because it's a really humbling experience.
Oh,
I really
yeah.
think I really believe that God put me through all the shit the last few years, and then is putting me through this shit as sort of like putting me through the ringer. He's like, "Yo, dude, like you've been you've been an asshole for the past 3 4 years. You missed your grandma's Christmas, so now I'm gonna put you through the shit." And he believed me. I've been being put through the shit. But honestly, and in a way, I think I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed to open my eyes. And
Yeah. But that's the
yeah,
thing is, I was having this conversation with someone yesterday. I was at a graduation party for a high schooler who was in my film.
yeah,
And she had one of her friends there, and we were talking, and I was just telling her what's really hard is someone my age. Like, I know that you guys have to go through experiences in order to learn. Like, we all know that.
unfortunately, yeah.
So it's like I can't sit here
Hmm.
and, I can kind of give advice and share my stories and, all of that. But at the end of the day, it's like you're going to go through
Yeah,
stuff, and it's not
exactly.
until you go
Hmm.
through it are you going to be able to come out the other side and then say, "Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, now I get it." But I think too
yeah,
many parents, adults like want so badly to be like just shake you guys and be like, "But this is what's going to happen." And it's like, "No,
yeah.
you got to
It's
just
not
let them
quite,
go through it."
especially with our generation, right?
Yeah.
Things are so different than from my mom's generation. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I learn a lot from the older generations, like my neighbors. They've helped me out so much with this process
Yeah.
because I've been having to learn shit about like Medicare and supplemental insurance for
Oh
Medicare.
gosh, like all the whole
Medicare
like
only pays 80% of the cost,
the
and you need to pay
paperwork
the
is
other
awful.
20%. I know it. I've been having to do it. I had to sign my dad up for Medicare because he's so far gone in his
Yeah.
mind that I had to figure out how to get a Medicare plan for him. And then now I'm like, oh shit, now I got to figure out the other 20% of the cost, right? But that's the thing about social media. They don't explain real life shit. Like you turn 18, okay, you're a legal adult now. You got to get some income going. You got to find a real job, get some liquidity in your bank account. Then you turn 21, okay, now it's you're more of an adult. You are legally able to drink, but there are consequences if you are with someone who's 20 and you're drinking with them and you get caught for that, for example. And then a lot of young people don't realize when you turn 26, you're no longer under your parents' medical insurance. Kind of need to worry about that because if something happens to you, you break a leg. Oh shit, I'm in the hospital. What's this bill for 10 grand? It
Yeah.
costs that much to be in the hospital? What happened to my friend? He didn't really think about getting medical insurance because, when he turned 26 and he, the insurance with his parents, he didn't qualify anymore. And
Hmm.
then he got in a car accident and then his leg broke and he was fine. I mean, thankfully, but he didn't realize that, dude, the hospital bed you're sitting in, the IVs they have in you, the pain meds they're giving you, that all adds up.
Yeah.
And his bill ended up being like 15 something thousand dollars. And because he wasn't educated on that stuff. And that's something that you get from listening to older generations,
Yeah.
right? Because there's
Yeah.
a lot, there's still things that are going to stay the same. Doesn't matter if the technology changes, the AI it grows. There's still going to be Medicare. There's still going to be. Oh, that's weird. Why did that turn on?
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's a ghost in here.
I was gonna say, is it your grandma?
No, so this used to be my grandma's room, but ever since I moved back, I needed a room to be in. So
Yeah.
um, I
She's letting
figured,
it but no, but she wants you
yeah.
to know that she's there, that she's
Exactly.
announcing
Yeah,
herself.
sometimes like it's I know because I'm still human, right? I
Yeah.
still need to have human connection and interaction and intimacy.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes I think to myself, well, my grandma would be fine with this because she believed in love and
Oh.
kindness and genuine connection and all that stuff. And I'm carrying those values with me,
Yeah.
respectfully, of course.
Yeah,
And
and that's something that, yeah,
yeah,
will remain the same no matter what
yeah,
generation. Just even my mom has with some of her closest friends in town from Mexico who she grew up like childhood.
yeah,
And a lot of
exactly.
the couples actually knew each
Hmm.
other in childhood and they just married each other. So like
Yeah.
she's friends with these couples that are here in town, and
Yeah.
I chose to go meet them because one of the couples is actually my aunt and uncle that I hadn't seen in years.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
my mom's like, "Oh, they're at UTC if you want to go say hi." I was like, "Oh, well, I need to go
UTC.
I need to go look at something anyway." So I'm like, "I'm going to go meet them." And I ended up having drinks with them, and it was me and just all of them without my mom. And I had the
Cool.
best time. I told them in that moment, I was like, my heart is so happy right now. Like, I feel so fulfilled because
Same.
they're
Same.
older, they're
Yeah.
in their 70s, and they're all speaking Spanish. And I had felt so grateful that I'm
Uh-huh.
fluent in
That's
Spanish. And
cute. That's
they
cute.
and my
Yep.
uncles, they were like joking around with me while the
Yeah.
women went to go shop. And there was something about just in that moment being connected with them and just sharing stories and
Hmm.
laughing. I was like, this is like so simple, but yet
Yeah.
it's such a wonderful feeling. And I feel like your generation, um, I think a lot of them
You're
are starting to
touching on
recognize
something
are recognizing that though.
because our generation, I don't know if you've gone out lately to the bars, clubs, maybe not in like this area, but in the big cities like San Diego and LA.
Yeah.
Everybody's on their phone. You know what I mean? Nobody's actually like interacting. And especially guys like me, because I got caught up in this bullshit too. I would be in a section, right, with my guy friends. We'd be in the
Yeah.
section and we'd be on our phones with the bottles, spend like 500 on a
So dumb.
bottle, 1,000, $2,000 on a bottle, thinking, yeah, these girls are gonna come up to us because we got the bottles and shit, bro. These girls are gonna come up to us, bro, like because they know we got money. Of course, they never came up to us, and then we're like, what the fuck, bro? Like,
Yeah.
why did they come? And then I realized maybe because we should just be normal and go approach women and just
Yeah.
spit game. Like, I mean, the worst they can say is no,
Yeah.
that we're not
Yeah.
interested in you. And okay, okay, it's all good. But
Yeah.
I think like the problem with the red pill shit is that it makes guys feel like they're the shit, and it makes them feel like they're the prize. And I mean, like that's not really the case, especially if you don't have nothing going for you in life. I mean, especially if you're a loser and you don't make money and you start
Yeah.
talking like Andrew Tate, like, I mean, first get a job first before you start quoting Andrew Tate, bro. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you mean it like it's my I mean, I had friends in San Diego. I had one who was unemployed and he worshiped that guy Andrew Tate, and then we go out, and then a girl would reject him, and then he would get mad at her, like, "What the, like, fuck you," like, like, or like, "Oh, you're dressing like that, and you probably got a man or something, and you're out right." But and now, looking back, I'm like, what if this girl has a really six-figure paying job, and you're saying that being unemployed? I mean, you kind of have to reflect and look at yourself. And I think a lot of men, including myself, I'm speaking to my old self in that period, you got to reflect on yourself, because if you don't, you're gonna get an inflated head. But it's not
Hmm.
just a man thing, it's a woman thing too.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
of
I mean,
course,
for
but I mean
sure.
the problem is, men think when men have an inflated head like that, they become like this. They want to control, they want to dominate, they want to, like, everything, every aspect, right? So they see a woman they see an intelligent, smart, money hungry woman as a threat, because I saw that. I used to want to date girls that didn't have jobs, that didn't have anything going for them, because I didn't want them to feel superior of me. And that's insecurity, you see.
Hmm.
I was so, like, brainwashed, because a lot of the red pill guys say, yeah, you need to get a girl that works at Burger King. You need to get a girl that, like, doesn't work or is
First of all,
unemployed.
why is it red pill? What's
I
the
don't, because so this bullshit all started when, like, you ever watch The Matrix, the movie
Yeah,
Matrix?
that's what I was curious. Does
So
it have to
the
do
red
with
pill,
like,
blue pill, right? So
yeah.
he takes the red pill, and then, like, it's a Matrix. So this shit all started out probably over a drunk conversation, and somebody capitalized on it and made money off of it.
So it's like
Let's
an
keep it real.
actual thing. Like
Yeah.
that's what they
Oh
call
yeah.
it.
It's an actual thing. Yeah.
Again, my algorithm does not show me any of that stuff because I could care less and I didn't, but so that's
Yeah,
why I was
but
like, what?
that's the problem. Like, a lot of young men in their 20s, I mean, not even 20s, 30s, 40s. I know dudes in their 40s that would worship that
Yeah.
these things. And honestly, and to be honest, it's causing gender warfare, as I call it, because I mean, and it's causing a lot of misogynistic views, because it was a bad time, for a while for me, because it's just like, and I open up about it in the book. When I used to work at an office, a corporate office. This was before I got with my new firm. Not when I opened the account with you, but this was before that. And I had such alpha misogynistic mindset that all the women I worked with, I saw them as just inferior to me. I saw them as, like, anytime they spoke or had an idea, I was just like, oh, that's just some shit a girl would say. It's bad, right? And then I would make comments like, "Oh, you're a mom, you would say that," or like, "Yeah, exactly, right?"
Oh
It's
my
so
God.
crazy offensive, and and also, like, I would talk to them like they were below me. Like, I'd be like, "Hey, you got my papers or what? Or you got my reports?" Like, like, treat them like they were.
Ugh.
Yeah, exactly, right. So of course, rightfully so, I ended up getting fired from that job, um, because I was toxic to the work environment,
Well,
and I was blame.
yeah, and disrespectful. Jeez.
Yeah, I know, and I was just like, and at the time I was just like, I was blaming others. I was blaming them for that, and I was just like, they're just firing me because they're all women and they don't like an alpha male man. Da da da. But now that I look back, I'm just like, yeah, bro, like. I had a dumbass mindset and
Yeah.
it was disgusting, you know what I mean? Like now I mean I really would love to apologize to all those women right now. Like I would love
Yeah.
to. I don't know where they are at now. I mean, they might be still at the same place, but yeah, I would love to apologize to all of them because I was just lost emotionally. I was just in a lost place. And I wasn't being my true self. I was just trying to put up a front and hide this like alpha male, like machista, macho
Yeah.
persona. But the reality is, I was just broken inside, and I didn't want to express my emotions because I saw that as a weakness.
Well, yeah, and that's
Yeah,
usually, why we try to explain bullies. It's like, hey, it's
yeah,
because they themselves are insecure and they themselves are
yeah.
broken, and that's their way to make them feel
Sure,
better.
sure.
So it's like the same thing. But what's crazy is that, and again, I don't want to get like political and all this, but
Oh,
the reality is we're seeing a lot of men that are in power, that are
yeah.
public figures, that are exhibiting a lot of this behavior.
Yeah, and just
And
so you know, I mean, I worshipped that. I worshipped that man in office. I worshipped him. I voted for him. I'm saying, I'm being honest with you. I
yeah,
voted for him. I was full red pill man. Voted for him, worshipped him, everything, right? I had the flag in my room. I had it all. I had the hats, right? And thankfully, I was God saved me. That's all I can say. God kind of slapped me in the face in a way and said, "Get your shit together, bro. Like
yeah.
this
Well, and
isn't you. You know what I
there's a lot
mean?"
of men like you that are starting to kind of have the wool lifted from their
Yeah.
eyes, if you
And
will.
yeah.
Um,
And but that doesn't mean I can't be masculine, right? Like I'm a man.
oh no,
I love working out. I love watching football. My boxers on Sundays. I like, you know, having
listen,
yeah.
I'm the type of girl, like woman, that actually I have a lot of guy friends, and I love
Yeah.
going to just like a sports bar and watching sports with
Yeah.
the guys and talking football, and
Exactly.
I do appreciate that. Like I'm not someone
Yeah,
sitting there that's
like
like,
you know how girls say like you can like girls or guys say like, oh yeah, she's one of the boys. Well, I can say that I can be one of the girls if you get what I mean by that. No, I
yeah,
can because I
yeah,
mean I have a lot of friends from high school, and well, not during my red pill years, but now and before that, I mean I love having regular relationships with women like that are non-sexual or
mm-hmm.
not
Oh
or
yeah, I have some
not any.
great platonic male friends,
Yeah,
and I
like
love
honestly,
it.
because I learn a lot from women
Hmm.
like that benefit me and vice versa, right? I mean, skincare, like I didn't know certain things about skincare. Like, I mean, I learned makeup products, not be for my own benefit. I don't
Yeah.
like wear makeup, but like if I want to compliment a girl, instead of telling her she looks cute, I could tell her like, hey, like I love the full glam, or I love the half glam, or I love the way you did your eyelashes, or I love the way you did your eyebrows, right? Not
What's the
every dude.
difference between full glam and half glam?
So half glam is see that then see the half glam is kind of not like I don't like, for example, like when you go out to the club,
Yeah,
usually
that's full
girls get
glam.
that full glam, but like half glam's like you're going out with your girls to just get something to eat or something
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Like date
Yeah,
night.
yeah, shit like that, yeah. But see, I knew that, but I learned that because I'm friends with a chick from high school, and she
Yeah.
told me like that, and I'm like, oh, that'd be a good way to compliment some chicks. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
got to be different, right? And you got to like, especially if you're gonna have confidence and approach women, you got
Yeah.
to like keep think of something different. Because I
Yeah.
think what I realize is, I mean, yeah, like having a successful life and having a career are important things, but I mean, if your head is inflated and you come up to a girl like, yeah, like, and you got like some fake Gucci short shirts and fake designer fits on, women aren't stupid. They're gonna see that, and they're gonna automatically know you're kind of a manipulator, or you kind of like you're probably just gonna tell me what I want to hear just to sleep with me.
Yeah.
Versus, and
But I
that's how,
will say
yeah,
though, just to like, and also, in all fairness,
yeah,
there's plenty of women that like they want that. Like they also
it's true,
are they're in a place where like surface level for them, and they
it's
kind of
true,
also just like they want that, you want that status, they want that status too. So there are
yeah,
plenty as well. So then they do kind of find each other. So there is also like a culture there.
yeah,
I just personally have never been someone that's like been like that,
yeah.
but I
I mean,
can understand that there is a world out there with
sure.
people like that.
I mean, there's a lot of women too that are fixated on presenting themselves online and you know, but the thing is a lot of what people post, that's not really what's behind the picture.
No.
People, yeah, it's not. It's most 90% of the time that's not their lifestyle at all, right?
Mhm. Oh
That's
yeah.
not real life, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why like I've liked that I've started reading more since I moved back to the to Napomo, like I've been reading more books
You
like
said you stopped drinking before we got on the
yeah.
podcast. You said you stopped
Oh yeah.
drinking, you're
I
reading
stopped drinking.
more.
Yeah, hell
I
yeah.
mean,
Working
that's
out more. Like I feel a
yeah.
lot healthier. Like I notice I'm getting my abs back. My figure is getting more toned. No, it's
Yeah.
because I'm not sitting on my ass at a desk all day because I
Yeah.
love my new job because I so my new job is also kind if you want to think of it, it's kind of manly. Like I basically teach, people teach business owners and construction owners and electricians, plumbers how to use certain power tools. I'm pretty much a sales and marketing territory manager for the area.
Hmm.
I teach them how to use certain tools. I really like it because it just if it feels like I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like I have a purpose there. I'm
Yeah.
on my feet. I'm driving to job sites. I'm interacting with more guys, like shooting the shit. But there's a lot of women that I interact with too
Yeah.
on my team as well, and they're great at their job. Some of the and I can attest to this, even when I worked in finance, some of the best creative ideas and minds came from women. A lot of the women I worked with were really good at closing the deals.
Hmm.
I mean, really good. Like because women are usually more emotionally intelligent, and that's why they do so well in sales. So if I ever get a business and I need sales reps, I would probably prefer women because they're way more emotional intelligent and they know certain psychologies and emotions. And that definitely comes in handy when you're in sales and
Yeah.
business. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
that's,
funny.
but the
It,
problem is I didn't see that before. I always thought it was a man's world,
yeah,
all
but I
dogs.
mean, I think it's just great that you actually like acknowledged it and are working on it. That's
Yeah,
the thing is like, I'm someone that I mean, I've done some things in my past that I'm not really proud of but I know
sure.
I was also kind of in a place where I didn't know better. Like a
Yeah,
lot of it came from my own just shit and trauma and just kind of the way I was surviving. And
yeah,
then once I was able to acknowledge it and then start working on it, like that's all you can do. There's unfortunately
yeah.
there's a lot of people that kind of could stay stuck in those places and don't ever grow or
It's
evolve.
true.
So the fact that
Yeah,
you're doing that, and you're only going to continue to do that even more. I mean, you're still young,
yeah.
for me, like I'm going to be 51. I'm still working on myself, but I'm also proud of myself because I'm not the same person I was like 3 years ago. There's so many things.
Yeah,
And so I think that's
definitely.
what's important is to acknowledge that, okay, even if you're in a place right now where you're not really happy with who you are, like you still have room to grow
Oh, I have a lot of growing to do.
yeah, all of
I'm
those
in the
things.
hole right now financially, paying for all my dad's care, like around 30 grand in the hole.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
the caregiving thing, that's a whole
yeah,
nother world that's happening right now too, that's really
yeah.
tough. Like I have friends that are in the caregiving roles right now, and it's really hard because you literally
It's
you're dedicating your entire life
well,
to this other person.
pretty much. That's why I haven't. I mean, I kind of want my social life back a little bit. Like I want to go out, go on trips, but he gets priority right now because I'm
Yeah.
trying to save his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
but
you
you
know
still
that,
have to
yeah,
but you still need to do things for yourself. So, I
yeah.
mean, it sounds like you're at least you said you're going to
I
the
mean,
gym,
I
you're
get
kind of
my,
like
I'm still
okay.
intimate. I'm still a
Yeah,
human.
you
If
know,
you get what I'm
yeah.
saying, yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, and I get
yeah,
it. And hey,
yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, yeah,
yeah,
you have to still, put yourself in a position to like take care of yourself as well. And
yeah,
if that's those are the needs that you need
yeah,
in order to be okay, like who am I to judge or
yeah.
anybody else
No,
to
and
judge?
that's why, like, if when I talk to girls, like, I like I want to go on a date with you, but it's like I don't want to leave my dad by
Yeah.
himself because he can't walk. Like
Yeah.
he needs help, and I kind of want to be here. But luckily, I have a nice, beautiful front yard. And I feel like women are more interested in just the attention and the time you give them to speak and have a conversation, right? I feel like a girl is gonna prefer me saying, "Hey, like let's have a drink in my front yard and just and chat it up, like and just talk," instead of like me picking her up in an exotic car and not giving her any attention and taking her on this, you know, expensive date because I used to do that. I used to go pick up a girl in my Beamer and
Listen,
yeah,
I've been on those type of dates and I thought that that was like super cool too. And then at the end
yeah,
of the day, I was like, I'd rather be with someone that I really care about and love and be like
yeah,
on a blanket in a shitty apartment watching a football
yeah.
game with like a box of pizza.
And I
Like
think that
for me, that would have, yeah,
that right there is the disconnect in modern dating. All
yeah,
dudes think they have to be this hyper alpha dude. Go to the gym.
listen,
Like, yeah, I go to the gym because I want to be healthy, right? I like to
yeah,
work out, relieve stress, but it's the purpose behind why you do these things, right? If you go to the gym because all you care about is looking good to impress other women, then then that's not really a good purpose. If you go to the gym because you want a nice figure and you want to be healthy,
yeah,
well, that's good.
yeah.
But it shouldn't be to please others. It should be to please yourself.
Well, yeah, just
Because
to
I
be
mean,
healthy.
I know a lot of dudes that I work with right now that don't go to the gym, but they're happy. They don't need to
Yeah,
have this like six pack muscular figure or anything to be happy. I mean,
yeah.
they're happy the way they are.
Yeah. Well, and that's
So
the thing is again, you're discovering what's important
yeah,
and
it's a
it
lot
does,
of discovery.
yeah, and just
Yeah,
like you said, sometimes it takes going through some stuff in order to be able to get there. And
yeah.
I just love that you're willing to talk about it because some people aren't willing to admit like, gosh, I was this person
No, I
and this
was
is what
a
I thought and this is what I did.
I can't say language in this podcast, right? I
Well,
had
I mean,
age
it's
appropriate.
18 to 26 are my guests, so it's not
Okay.
like, I mean,
Oh,
as an
okay.
adult.
Yeah, because I was a fucktard back, the
Okay.
past 4 years. I was just a dumbass. Like,
Yeah.
well, no, not a dumbass. I think I was just so insecure when I
Yeah.
should have, because the real me has always been this, right? I mean, I kind of faked myself even longer than like the red pill period. Like, like when I was in college, like I would want to portray this party animal
Mm.
and I would want to post crazy videos on my Snapchat of me making out with different girls and drinking. Yeah, I know, drinking like alcohol excessively and posing with girls, like because I thought it was cool online. I wanted to be this like, yeah, Sean, let's hang out with him because he parties with all the beautiful women and he likes to party and he always has bomb girls with him. But now I look back, I'm like, I wish I would have just, I mean, I still could have done that shit, but just be private about it. Like, I don't have to
Yeah.
post it all over the place because then it makes
Yeah.
me look weird. You know
Well,
what I mean?
you live and you
So
learn. So now you're
you live in the year
learning
to learn.
and then you're
Yeah.
going to do things differently
Yeah.
and again, that's part of life experience and that's part of living life and
Yeah.
learning and taking those lessons. And so
Yeah.
you're doing what
Learning.
what like we're all put here on earth to do
Yeah.
is to live life. So I just think for whatever reason, your generation and other the younger generations that are going to come through, hopefully that they don't get so caught up in this whole like illusion
Yeah.
of what they think the world's supposed to or how life is supposed to be
Well,
lived.
life is never, like, it's not something that you'll figure out in one day. Shit happens all the time.
And it's going to be
Yeah.
continual until you end up in your grave.
I know. I
I
know.
mean,
I think I have it figured out right now, and then shit's gonna
oh
happen next
no,
week.
believe me,
Oh,
you still have so
fuck.
many different like I was just telling my therapist because I had therapy before
Mm,
this is that like I I'm recognizing like how my life is very much like an ebb and flow and I've come to
yeah.
accept that like I'm someone that I go through cycles like little growth spurts where like
Yeah.
every 5 years or so like I move or something
Yeah.
significant happens and where before I felt like I thought maybe it's because I was running from something or I was
Yeah.
like and I recognize like no it's just that's how I grow that's how I'm
Yeah.
learning as I go through these little growth spurts and then things change
Uh-huh.
and that's just kind of who I am and
Yeah.
that's okay and but that's how I know personally I
Yeah.
navigate life.
Sure.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly. And
So it's
speaking of like this,
yeah.
so an idea, remember how I shared with you this morning, like the light bulb idea came up
Oh
in? So
yeah.
you know about the Stardust app? Have you heard of it?
No, I have
So
not.
it's an app that tracks menstrual cycles, right? But I've tested it out from a man's point of view. So I have a couple partners that I know I just said it out loud, but it's all good.
Oh no no
But
no! I'm been by the dogs start are
oh,
playing.
okay, yeah, but that's okay to post because like I'm now a person that wants to be honest and communicative. And I mean, me right now in my time, this time of life, I just want casual relationships. I don't want
Okay.
anything serious.
Nothing
And
wrong with that.
before, I used to just manipulate women and say, tell them what they want to hear, love bomb them. You know what I
Mm,
mean? But now I believe in being honest. So, when a girl asks me, like on the first date or like the first time we text, first interaction, what I'm looking for, I say, honestly, I'm just looking for something casual, like friends with benefits or casual relationships, friendships. I really don't want anything
listen, as long
serious.
as you're being honest and upfront
Exactly.
about it, I feel like what they're,
And that's what I just realized. It's actually more simple than I realized. Like, no, no, listen, it's funny
yeah.
because I was with my homies the other day, and I'm like, and it, my friend was telling me like, yeah, bro, like I really want to like get with this chick, but I don't want anything serious. And I'm like, why don't you just tell her
Tell
that?
it.
And he was like, you fucking right, dude. No way. I'm like, yeah, like, bro. I mean, if you just want to smash, just say that. Like,
Yeah.
it's that simple, right? I mean, it's
And if
funny
she
because
says
it's
yes, then like it's
yeah,
consensual, like you both are on the
and
same page.
and
So,
I just realized when six like now that I've switched that logic and I come into it like that, it actually works more than when I was thinking red pill. So I
hmm.
want to slap myself in the face because
Listen, I still get upset at age 50 that I can't have men be completely honest with me. Like I'll be like, "Listen,
really,
if you're not like interested or whatever, like just you're doing me a favor by being honest with me up
yeah,
front than just stringing me along or ghosting me or just like getting
yeah,
me to believe something that's really not happening." But for whatever reason, there's still a lot of men out there that just
yeah,
cannot like own up to
because
the truth.
yeah, because what I tell my guy friends is like, dude, like there's plenty of girls that don't want a serious relationship. They just want they really just want to hook up or they want something casual. But the thing
I've
is,
been in that I've been in that
right,
situation where
but
I'm
the
just
thing
like,
is like when you're on dating profiles, and this is something I realized, a lot of girls will put looking for long-term relationship, but they're really not looking for long-term
mm,
relationship. They're trying to weed out the weirdos.
oh,
You know what I mean? I
gotcha.
another one of my homegirls told me that. She's like, I put that I'm in a long-term relationship, but I'm really not. I just want to see what dudes are like
Yeah.
safe, but not safe physically. Because I mean, any dude can make a girl feel safe physically. Like if you're a big dude, security guard,
Yeah.
women are gonna feel safe physically, but women also want to feel safe emotionally,
Oh,
mentally,
absolutely.
right? But I never understood that.
Mm,
Like you want to feel safe emotionally that's important. That's because I
yeah.
want to feel safe emotionally. Like I don't want to be with a girl who's gonna be saying crazy shit to me or
Yeah.
lying to me and shit like that.
Yeah.
But because I was that type of guy, I would love bomb girls. With flashy car and flashy clothes and especially at the club, try and flash my watch and flash my jewelry and
You're the type of guy
yeah,
that I literally would like watch and like see and literally like
yeah,
run the
yeah,
opposite direction.
yeah. Yeah, I
I'm like,
know.
red flag, not red
I
pill,
know.
red
I
flag.
was a walking red flag. That's the truth. I
That's
was
what they
like
should call it, red flag instead of
I
red
was
pill.
I literally was the definition of a red flag.
Oh my gosh.
I was the definition of a red flag, So,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I still have my red flags, but I'm working on them. Slow
Yeah,
process,
well,
right?
good,
So,
good. I hope that now you're actually being honest,
I
Mr.
am.
I wasn't really being that honest before.
I know now you're questioning me. You're like,
Everyone's going to be like, "Yeah, but is this?" Well, I feel
is
like
this a
what
real
you
him?
talked
Yeah.
about is pretty, I mean, if
Yeah.
it wasn't honest, I feel like you wouldn't want to be saying all this stuff.
Yeah, and then I wrote two books already, like, and I went into graphic detail through first person point of view, and I
Yeah.
mean graphic detail,
Okay.
explicit language, I mean disturbing things, and I'm
So
actually
this
writing.
is like rated. So are they, can books be rated? Like
Well,
rated
it's
R?
mature content.
Oh, mature content.
It's on
Okay.
Wattpad, but also I'm writing a third book, and it's even more graphic. It should
Okay.
more like NC-17, like not rated graphic,
And
because
you just are really like in a place where you're okay with like sharing all the
yeah,
details and
the
really
reason I
being
am
honest.
is because it's to show young men, like if you're having these thoughts, if you're feeling this much anger and hatred, not just towards women but for
Yeah.
just in general, you need to talk to someone about it because
Did you
to
ever
things.
watch the film Adolescent?
Yes, I was going to tell you about that.
Yeah, I
So
watched it
no,
when it first
yeah,
came
oh
out
no,
and it was
I
so
so
disturbing.
and that's exactly what red pill culture does to young men. That is a perfect example. It actually is perfect. I actually need to hit up
Okay.
the producer or something, but that is exactly what red pill culture does to a mind of a young man. Especially, when you're a 11, 12-year old boy.
Yeah.
Imagine you're 11, 12 years old and you're watching videos of Andrew Tate and, Fresh and Fit podcast. You're going to believe that stuff because that's all you see. And then it can go from like saying women shouldn't vote, women are second class citizens, to actually hurting women
Yeah.
physically, which is exactly what happened in adolescence.
So then let me
Yeah.
ask you this, obviously you're not a parent, but in the film, that last scene with the parents, it's like clearly they felt like the sense of like, where did we miss the signs? And like, oh my gosh. And then the dad kind of realized that there were situations with the bullying and things that
Yeah.
he kind of like, just like anybody else, like, believe me, I've been guilty of it too, where you kind
Yeah.
of are in the moment and someone says something and you kind of laugh it off. I mean, we've seen
Yeah.
that online a lot. We've seen that. And in
Yeah.
the moment, you don't think about it. And then later you're like, oh my gosh, like, had I responded differently, it could have been a completely different scenario. So is there like anything you can say to parents of
Yeah.
these young men? Like,
I don't know if Instagram or phones have this feature, but there needs to be like a minor, like, kind of like when with the Fire Sticks, like parental
uh-huh.
control.
Instagram now, I think if you're under a certain age, your account is automatically private. I do know that.
Well, it wasn't for a while. Like
Yeah, that's recent.
anybody could go on Instagram and look up videos of Andrew Tate or my or like the Fresh and Fit
Oh, so
guys.
you're saying like even more like parental kind of things
Yeah.
where like you can't see certain
Yeah,
content.
because
Yeah.
that's adult content. And to be honest with you, I have a theory. Well, it's not a theory. I don't really think that's even how they think. I just think they say all that crazy shit because they make money off of it. I mean, you got to think about it.
No, no, I
You
agree.
know,
That's it's the that sensationalism and like the whole, just kind
like
of
if somebody's paying me $1 million a month to say some bullshit, yeah, sign me up. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, I would
yeah.
hope that there comes to
Well,
a point
yeah,
where it wouldn't
but
matter. Like if
sure.
someone paid me, said, I'll pay you $1 million to say something that I don't believe in, I'm like, sorry, I'm not going to take the $1 million.
Yeah. Okay.
You
You
know?
got a point,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
I'm
I would
looking at
hope.
it, from like an objective point of view. Like
Yeah. But
I,
so then with the parents, okay, so then I want to go back to
yeah.
because, with this podcast, I do have a lot of friends and colleagues of mine who are parents who
Hmm.
listen to this. And so I would love to hear someone like yourself, like
Yeah.
as a parent, what are maybe a few things that they could do or at least like open their eyes to
Well,
when it comes to this?
you got to stop your kids from watching a bunch of garbage. I mean, social
But
media,
again, how do you know in adolescence the kid was in his bedroom and they couldn't dictate what
mm,
he was watching on
yeah.
his phone? So,
You gotta, I think there's ways to show your children consequences of actions, right? I know, I mean, in a way that, and I've thought of these ideas, but I don't know if they'd be appropriate to show them real world consequences. So
mm,
what I mean by that is like, let's say, because that's the only way you're really going to learn is if you have to show them what type of consequences come from this type of thinking. So an example would be like if I'm driving with my children around a city and I drive them to Skid Row and I say, see, that's what happens when you do drugs. You want to
mm,
do drugs? Go ask them for drugs. They're gonna be scared as shit.
yeah.
But they're gonna see the zombies on the street and they're gonna be like and they're gonna learn. The thing is, when you're a young child, w- the way you're raised kind of determines how you are like later in life,
Oh
so to
no,
speak.
I agree. I agree that a
So if it
parenting,
it's kind of like you don't want to shelter your kids, but you also don't want to, you know, yeah, you don't want to shelter your kids, but you don't want to overexpose them. So there has to be a good middle ground.
yeah. Well, and also your actions, because let's be
Yeah,
honest, a lot of a-hole kids have a-hole parents because that's what they
true.
see. A lot of bullies
Yeah,
have parents that are bullies. A lot of
yeah,
kids that are into the image, into all of the
yeah,
status, it's because their parents are the same
sure.
way.
Yeah,
So, like for me, a lot of times I'm like, all right, well, parents, maybe you should look at yourselves too because, your kids are seeing what you're doing and like
yeah.
it's
I think the
hard.
main principles I'll teach my children is the golden rule, right? And that's kind of how I live my life. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Essentially, if you want someone to listen to your thoughts and ideas, then you have to be respectful and listen to theirs. If you are, mean to people, if you're rude to people, Would you like if they were rude back or disrespectful to you back?
Yeah.
Probably not. Would you
Yeah.
like being humiliated online publicly? Probably not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you gotta think like I think every time you interact with somebody, you have to think like I'm gonna treat them how I would want to be treated myself. You know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know that I wouldn't want to be objectified and humiliated um, and disrespected myself. I want to be loved for who I am.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
how you need to see people now, aka see women now. So um, not not saying like I'm
I
gonna
love
find
how
my
you
wife.
said that. You're like, see women now. I'm
Yeah,
like, well, always should have seen
it
women like
always
that.
should. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Better late than never,
better
Sean.
late than never, right? Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's why um I'm just glad that you're seeing the light.
Hmm.
And I'm sure there's plenty of people that are going to
Seeing the
listen to
light.
me and you,
Hmm.
and they're going to be like, whatever, like, what is she talking about? Like that, you know
Mm.
what I mean? Like, but that's
Yeah.
my opinion and I'm sticking to it. And,
No, but I'm happier, but I'm so happier now that I'm not in that mindset.
yeah,
Like I was angry and resentful for
yeah,
so much time.
yeah,
Like what was I angry about? Now I think, well, I know I was angry is because I was upset over my last relationship because it was toxic
mm,
and it was really toxic, and that's, I went into that a little bit in the Mind of the Red Pill Man. And this third book I'm writing, like it's more graphic because it goes into the thoughts of my mind of what they were back then.
yeah.
So and to be honest, it's a hard book to write because I find myself stopping and like wanting to throw up. It's that bad.
No, I get it
Yeah.
because when I'm in
Yeah.
therapy, there's certain things where I'm like, oh, I don't like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go back and relive certain things that, I
Like it's
experienced.
yeah,
But
it's really traumatic. Like when I'm writing it on the computer, I'm like I have to just stop and just like, damn, like what the fuck? Like I can't how that was really me? Like holy shit. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I'm sick to my stomach. Like I'm like thinking to myself, imagine if like I think I have a mom, I have girl cousins, and imagine if some dude thought like that about them, about my mom, right? Which
yeah,
probably was the case, because my mom had a relationship with some dude, but that's what I mean. Like I
yeah.
put myself in their shoes and I'm just like, bro, like yeah, like you ever watched you know the Christmas Carol story, right?
Hmm.
It
Oh,
just like
yeah,
that literally that happened to me, but not a Christmas Carol story. Sort of the
yeah.
same concept, but that's exactly what happened to me,
Wow.
essentially.
Well, and
Yeah.
sometimes that's what's needed.
Yeah. You need to be put through the ringer. I mean, well, I'm lucky that God, put me through the ringer and put me through the trials and tribulations and put me through the suffering to make me wake up. But there's a lot of dudes out there that unfortunately are still trapped in that world, in their mind. That's the thing. That's the worst thing you could wish on someone, is to be trapped in your mind, because that's what you see, that's what you feel, that's what you think. It's one thing like a physical injury, right? You break your leg, you get a cast,
Hmm.
take some medicine, all you're good.
And then you
But
heal.
sickness up here, that's the hardest thing to
Yeah.
heal. That is the
Oh, yeah.
hardest thing. It took me about 5 years to heal this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate
Yeah.
you
You
coming
too.
back
Like I really
on
do. Honestly,
and
like because of you, like because you came into my life, Raquel, like you really made me think about myself, and you really made me think, what I've been doing wrong and how I can be a better man
oh
and be
wow.
masculine and embrace that masculinity and do it the right way. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
well,
yeah.
that's one of the best gifts that you can give me.
Yeah.
And there's going to be
Yeah.
somebody out there.
You're like my second mom,
I
because
love
my mom
that.
will always be number one, but
Oh,
you're like a second mom. My mom would love you, honestly. I mean,
oh,
yeah, if you ever meet
yeah.
her.
No,
So,
I would love
yeah.
to, but
Yeah.
no, and that's the thing is, yeah, I mean, and I posted about this. Like a lot of times you don't know how
Yeah.
you're going to really affect someone, if you're going to affect them
Hmm.
in a positive or negative way. And
Positive as fuck.
yeah,
I'm
and to
telling
be
you.
able to
Yeah.
have a positive effect, like it drives me to
Yeah.
continue to do this
Yeah.
because, I have, moments where I'm like, okay, is this really making a difference? And
Yeah.
with what I'm doing, having these conversations,
Yeah.
and is it going to help? And then I recognize that like you just opening up the way you just did, like who
Feels
knows?
good.
Like
It feels
who
so
knows like
good.
what person,
It
young
was
man, or
amazing.
what is going to listen and be like, damn. And then they
Like it
might have to
doesn't,
look at themselves.
yeah, like it feels, I don't know, it just feels masculine in a way. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels
I
like,
was going to say that it's the most attractive that I think a man could
yeah,
do
for a
is own
while,
up to
yeah, it's
that.
because for a while I thought it was like, I thought it made you a pussy and
No.
like, yeah.
All right, Sean, I'm gonna end the
Cool.
podcast since we've been talking for a good hour.
Yeah,
So
that works. Awesome. No, thank you, Raquel. I really
yeah,
appreciate you.
absolutely.